Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in Pine City for tonight's volleyball game between the Proctor Rails and the Pine City Dragons. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. I'll be bringing you all the action from tonight's game. The Pine City Dragons 2-2 on the season, coming off a loss last week to Malacca. Proctor, they've played 2 games, but they do not have any scores anywhere from those games. But they have played 2 games so far this season. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening live on 106.5 FM AM 1350. Also live at WCMPRadio.com. We've got a new camera angle today. New camera angle we're trying out. It's their huddle camera inside the Pine City Gym. We're trying it out for the first time today, trying something new, trying to get you a better angle on all the action here tonight. And so far, to me, it looks pretty darn good. But hopefully you'll have to let us know as well, and let us know what you think. Let us know if this is something you want to see us keep doing. So we're just about set for action here. As the Pine City Dragons get set to go. We're getting set. Just getting the last couple of adjustments in there. Looking at the starting lineup here for Pine City, it's going to be number 2, Abby Agard, Chloe Lynn, number 3, number 5, Marissa Rydberg. And it will be Megan Mako, Madison Bombard, and Emma Hermanson. That will be back. To serve is Megan Mako for the Dragons. Serve is up. It gets just over the net, and we're set for volleyball. The attempted kill is dug up by the Dragons, but it goes into the net, and that'll be point for Proctor. So Proctor up already, 1-0 over Pine City. The serve is over the net, dug up. Pushed on up by Rydberg and hit on over by Jusak. It's back over. The Dragons can't keep it alive. It goes out of bounds. And that'll be another point for the Proctor Rails. Rails set to serve. Serve is up and over. Dug up and kept alive by the Dragons. Pushed on over by Mako. That one's going to go long, and it will be another point for the Proctor Rails. Serve is up and over, dug up here. And pushed on down by the Rails, but Dragons keep it alive. Rails able to get it back over. That one's going to be just in the back corner, and another point for Proctor. Serve is over. Dug up by the Dragons. A hit on over by Lind is into the net. And the Dragons will get their first point of the night. 4-1, the Rails lead. Serve is up and over. Dug up here by the Dragons, pushed on over. Dragons keep it alive, hit on over there by number 5, that was Rydberg. That was going to be into the net, though, and that will be point for Proctor. This one's hit on over and then smashed down by the Rails, number 13. 14. That's Hope Carlson. And the Rails now have a 6-1 lead. This one's dug up by the Rails and hit on over. That's going to be out and long, and that's a point for Pine City, 6-2. Six to 2 the lead for the Rails. This one's dug up by the Rails, and they'll get it on over. This one's going to go just out of the reach of the Dragons. That'll be another point here for Proctor. Get a substitution for the Rails before their next serve. Serve is up, dug up by the Dragons. That's Agard back there, pushed on down by Jusak, and this one's near the bench area, but it's dug up and hit on over by the Rails. Jusak looking for the kill, hits it right into the net. And point will go the way of the Rails. The serve goes into the net, and the point will go right back to the Dragons. 7-3 your score. Make that 8-3. Serve from Rydberg is up and over, and it's just long, and another point here for the Rails. Proctor back to serve. It's up and over. This one's going to be just off the end of the fist of Emma Hermanson, out of bounds. And another point for the Proctor Rails. Serve back over, but this one is long. And the Dragons will get a point back on the long serve. 10-4, the Rails lead. Back to serve. That is Carly Jusak. Her serve is over, dug up by the Rails, pushed on up, and hit. And that one's dug up. Two players go after it. That's going to prove to be too much for the Dragons as it gets down for a point for the Rails. 11-4 they lead. Serve is up and over, dug up by the Dragons. Hit on over by Agard. And we're going to get a whistle, and the point's going to go to the Dragons. Make it 11-5. Proctor will get it over. Agard with the attempted kill. That one's blocked at the net by the Rails for a point for them. 12-5 now, the score in favor of Proctor. It's over the net. It's going to hit the net, but it's going to hit the boundary pole, and that will be point for Proctor. Serve is over. Dug up by Jusak to Rydberg to Lind, and oh, she hit that one a little bit off the mark, and that one falls into the net. Point for Proctor. 14-5. That's when we'll get our first timeout of the game. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. back out of the timeout. Dragons are set. Rails still serve. This one's into the net. Not enough juice on that one, and it's going to be 14-6. Dragons trail. Again, Mako will come in and take out Sage Stomper, and Mako will go back to serve. 14-6 here in the first set. Mako, the serve is up and over, dug up here by the rails. Pushed on up. The attempted kill is in for a point from Gabriella Juhala. I said that weird. Gabriella Juhala, there we go. Say it in one breath. Now back to serve will be Madison Walsh for the rails. Walsh's serve is up and over. Dug up there by Mako. To Rydberg. To Lind. Lind with the attempted kill. That's going to go off a couple of hands of rails, but they'll manage to keep it alive, get it over. Mako will keep it alive. And Rydberg, that one's just long. Excuse me, that's Agard on the hit. That one's going to be just long. Make it 15-6 in favor of the rails. Now 16-6 as I catch my scoreboard up with the scoreboard in the gym. 16-6 in favor of the rails in the first set. Serving is Madison Walsh. Her serve is just over the net. Jusak gets it off of her fist a little awkwardly, but it's hit on over by Agard. This one's dug up by the rails and tapped on over. Rydberg is there. We got a whistle and must have touched the net or gone past the line, and that will be point for Pine City. Make it 16-7. Back to serve now, Abby Agard. Serve is up and over, and this one is kept alive by the rails. And no miscommunication there by Proctor leads to a Pine City point, 16-8. Dragons trail, but any way you can get points, you'll take it. Agard, her serve is up, and it is over. Dug up by the rails, it's pushed up a little hard, and her teammate catches up to it. Dragons dig it up. Rydberg will get it over. Nice hit there. It's off a rail. Forearm, and it goes out of bounds. Point for Pine City. They trail 16-9 now. Slowly working their way back. Agard, serve up over. Dug up by the rails. Hit on up. And the attempted kill. Oh, nice job there by the rails. That's just a strong one that Dragons really couldn't catch up to from Peyton Rodberg. And Lydia Blotz, someone who works at WCMP with us. She gave me a heads up on Rodberg, said she's very good. Said when they played in their scrimmage that she was probably one of the ones that had the most hits and kills in that. Meanwhile, Proctor, oh, that hit right to Mako from Hope Carlson. Kind of caught her off guard, and she put her hands up instead of down to lift that ball, and it's 18-9. Serve is over, dug up by Mako. Rydberg will come over and get it, and Lind will hit it on over. Rails will keep it alive, and that is a kill, and it will go up the stands. Hopefully everybody's all right. Peyton Rodberg again with another one. 19-9. Rails ahead of the Dragons. Back to serve is Ella Walker. She's a sophomore, only two seniors on this Proctor squad. Serve is over. Mako digs it up to Rydberg, to Jusak. Jusak with the kill! 19-10. And checking out is Madison Bombard, and in for her will be Emma Hermanson. Serve is up and into the net from Lynn, and that will be point for the Rails. (20-10), the Rails lead, and to serve is Gabrielle Juhala. Dug up by the Dragons towards the opposite stands. It kept alive by Rydberg, and then Hermanson hits it over. The block at the net by Hermanson, and Jusak is good, and that'll be point for Pine City. What a block there from Hermanson and Jusak on the near side. Mako will come out. In for her will be Sage Stauber. Back to serve is Rydberg. Rydberg's serve is over. Dug up by the rails. And that's Rydberg, but her hit is out of bounds. That's another point for Pine City, 20-12. Rails still with the lead, but Rydberg back to serve once again. Dragons looking to get their way back into this lead, just over the net, dug up by the rails libero. And it's tapped on over, dug up though by Jusak. There's Rydberg, and Jusak with the attempted kill, dug up by the rails, near the near side, and then tapped on over once again. Rydberg, that's Agard right there. Lind, that's Stauber, will push it on over. And Rydberg, this time will have her hit dug up. And it's going to be long from the Dragons. And the point will go to the Proctor Rails. Just a little too much on that one from the Dragons. And the point to the Rails. Back to serve, that is Rydberg, one of the two seniors on this squad. Her serve is just over the net and then a little bit too far up the arms of Agard. And it will go out of bounds off her. Point for Pine City, 22-12. The Dragons trail in the first set. Rydberg back to serve again. She starts past the green on the gym floor in the gray area. And the serve is over. This time dug up by Agard, and into the net. Rydberg thought that one was going to go over the net. And it caught her off guard a little bit, tried to hit it, and then she double hit it, so that will be point for the Rails. Rydberg back to serve once again. 23-12, first set, Proctor Rails lead. Serve is up and over, dug up by, again, Agard to Rydberg. And this one is hit on over by Lind. This one's dug up by the Rails. Nice hit, though, from Lind. And then dug up by Lind again for the Dragons. Jusak with the attempt to kill, but it's long. And the Rails are at set point, 24-12. And Rydberg again back to serve for the Proctor Rails. Serve is up and over. Dug up by Stauber. That one's going to go all the way back to the logo of the Pine City writing. What would be the basketball boundary line. But that's going to be one too many hits, and the Proctor Rails will take set one, 25-12 over the Pine City Dragons. So the Proctor Rails will take set number one, 25-12. They'll lead 1-0 now over the Pine City Dragons. As we head into set number two, we'll take a little bit of a break here for the players to catch their breath, get some words of encouragement, words of strategy for this next set. Pine City looking to win this one and then go on to win two more and grab the victory 3-1, but we have three more sets to get through for them to do that, and we have to go set by set. We can't just jump ahead, unfortunately. That's not how this works. So we got to go set by set, and it starts with set number two that will be up next. And we'll take a quick commercial break to hear a word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. Looks like both teams are back out, ready to go. Not going to take the entire 3 minutes that they are allowed. They're both ready to get going. So Proctor leads 1-0. And we get ready to start the second set. Be Chloe Lynn, Arissa Reinberg, Abby Agard, Megan Mako, Madison Bombard, and Carly Jusak out there to start the second set for the Pine City Dragons. Proctor will start with a serve, and back to serve is Madison Walsh. Her serve is over, dug up by Bombard. Rydberg with the push, Lynn with the attempted kill. It's dug up by the Proctor rail. Somehow they got a hand under it to keep it alive, and the Dragons will have it back. And Agard there with the attempted kill. And Agard either stepped over the line or touched the net, but the first point is going to be for the rails. Walsh back to serve, it's up and just over the net. It's gonna fall right in front of Jusak for another point. 2-0, the early lead for the rails. Hermanson will check in for Mako. Mako, one of 4 seniors on this squad. Walsh's serve is over. This time Jusak is able to get to it. Rydberg, and miscommunication between Agard and Hermanson, and that ball will get down for another point for the rails. 3-0 they lead here in the second set. Got a loose lace there for Walsh, and she'll tie her lace, and we'll get set. For the serve, it's up and over. Bombard digs it up to Rydberg, to Lynn. Lynn, that one's blocked at the net, but it goes over their fingertips and then drops in for a point for Pine City. 3-1. Hermanson checks out. Mako will check in for her. Megan Mako will go back to serve. She is also the team captain along with Chloe Gerner and Chloe Lynn. And of course, Gerner cannot play this year due to a torn ACL. So we wish her the best of luck in her recovery, and hopefully it's quick and she can get back to activities as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Mako's serve is into the net, and Proctor is going to take a timeout. So Proctor's going to take a timeout here. While they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout as well. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. So the timeout called by the Proctor Rails. I think it even shocked the Dragons as they were kind of stuck out on the court, not knowing if it was an actual timeout or what. But it was a timeout. 4-1 the Rails with the lead here. Early stages of the second set, and back to serve is Ella Walker, number 14. She's a sophomore for the Rails. Her serve is up, and it's a high arcing shot, and Bombard got to it, but it goes off of her fist and out of bounds, and that'll be another point for the Proctor Rails. It's 5-1. Walker with the serve. Jusak with the dig. Rydberg, and this one goes over to Agard. Rails dig it up, though. They'll just push it over. Bombard will keep it alive. Rydberg to Lind, and Lind, that one's going to get down for a point. Strong hit from Lind gives the Dragons their second point of this second set. 5-2 they trail. And back to serve will be Abby Agard. Serve is up and over. Dug up by the Rails. That one's going towards the net, and they will not get it over in time as they will hit it 3 times and not still have it over. And it's point Pine City 5-3. Agard. Serve is up and over. Dug up by the Proctor Rails libero, and it is out of bounds. And point Pine City 5-4. The libero for the Proctor Rails, by the way, is Kylie Jarvie, excuse me. Serve is over from Agard. And 2 Rails go after it. Somehow that ball gets over the net. And Lynn looking for the kill. She gets it. Stone Cold Lind with the kill there. Wow, what a hit from Lind. Pick your spot. If I was the Rails, I wouldn't want to get in front of that one either. And we've tied things up at 5-5. Haggard's serve is over, and Lind again at the net with another kill. And the Dragons lead 6-5. Haggard back to serve again. Has watched her team score 5 straight points to give them a 6-5 lead. Haggard serves over again. This one's close to the net, tipped back over by Jusak, and that one's going to go out of bounds. It went back and forth. Proctor Rails tipped it over. Jusak tipped it back. Rails tipped it back over, and it went out of bounds. It's 7-5 Dragons. Haggard serve over. It's in! Rails thought that one was going to be too far, but that one was just good enough as Haggard gets the ace. 8-5, the Dragons with the lead. This set, a much different story than that first set. It was almost a blowout for Proctor in the first set, 25-12, but the Dragons here in this one, man, they look like they have kind of settled things down and found their rhythm. This one is long, though, from Haggard. And the ball will finally go back to Proctor after 7 straight points from Pine City, and they have an 8-6 lead. Back to serve for the Rails is Gabriella Juhala. Her serve is up and over, dug up by Mako to Rydberg, and Jusak with the attempted kill. It's back deep for the Rails. On the third hit, it's over. Out of bounds, and Mako watches it hit out of bounds, and that will be point for Pine City, 9-6. Stauber will check in for the Pine City libero, Madison Bombard. And back to serve is Chloe Lind. Lind, her serve right to the Proctor libero. It goes off her and out of bounds. Make it 10-6 Pine City. Ten to 6. Lind serve over. Oh, that one just, and I mean just into the net. If that one gets over, I think we're talking another ace here. Now back to serve for the Rails is Peyton Rodberg. Her serve is up and over. Dug up by the Dragons near that out-of-bound line. Rydberg keeps it alive. Lind will try and get it up to the net and over, but it falls, excuse me, just into the net. And point for Proctor, 10-8, the Dragons lead. Rodberg back to serve. It's up and over. Dug up by Haggard. Rydberg will go after it. And now pushing it over is Mako. Proctor Rails have it, keep it alive. This one is hit, and it's going to fall in for a point from Madison Walsh. And the Rails have closed the gap to within 1. It's 10-9. Here in the second set, as the Rails lead 1-0. And we're gonna get a stoppage as Madison Walsh comes over to the sideline. Judge is gonna say she needs a bandage from what I heard, and from what I'm seeing from Walsh, it doesn't look like there is any blood or anything, so she's just a little bit confused, I think, as to why she needs a bandage. But trainer's going to get one for her anyways, as the judge is going to make sure that we keep everybody safe. Thank you to the trainer, Becky Zelenko, for getting that taken care of, as she gets a round of applause as she makes her way back to the stands. And Rodberg will be back to serve, and the Pine City fans come alive. Specifically, the student section loved that we can hear them back in the stands this year. Dug up by the Dragons is the serve. Stauber, oh, her hit just long. And things are tied at 10. Stauber knew exactly where to put that ball. It was open, but just a little too much juice on that one. Rodberg back to serve for the Rails. Her serve is up and over. Dug up by Haggard to Stauber. Rydberg will hit it over. Rails will keep it alive. And the attempted kill is dug up and into the stands. Dug up by Mako, but a little too hard off of her fist. It goes into the stands. Everyone's okay. And Rails retake the lead, 11-10. Rodberg back to serve. It's up and over. And this one, nice hustle play by the Dragons. Oh, and then the rafters get in the way. Good hustle by the Dragons as Mako goes back after it, and Stauber with a nice hit that would have got it back over the net, but the rafters got in the way. You can blame the rafters for that one. It's 12-10 Proctor. Rodberg to serve. It's into the net, and Dragons will have it back to serve. Mako will check out. Hermanson will check in. 12-11, Dragons trail here in the second set, trailing 1-0. It's Arissa Rydberg back to serve. Her serve is up and over. Dug up by the rails, Rodberg. Hit on over. Two players were there, but they managed to get it over. Rydberg will just toss it on over. Pushed up, and the hit, and Dragons keep it alive. Nice job there by Rydberg. I was expecting that one to go out of bounds, but kept alive, and this hit is in play, and point from Madison Walsh, and the Rails lead 13-11. Back to serve for the Rails is Lexi Knudsen. Serve is up and over. Dug up by Agard. Hit on over by Stauber. The attempted block at the net, no good. It falls in for a point for the Dragons. 13-12. Dragons trail. Back to serve is Jusak. Carly Jusak. Serve is up and over. Rails keep it alive. And the block at the net goes a little too strong off of the hands of Stauber, and point right back to the Rails, 14-12. Back to serve is Lexi Knudsen, and I'm pretty sure she just served, so I thought, in my head, you had to rotate, but I'm probably wrong, as these girls, I'm pretty sure, know what they're doing. Rodberg's hit is well long. And that is point for Pine City. Stauber's back to serve for Pine City. Her serve is up and over. Dug up by the rails. Pushed on over. Smart move there by the Rails, but good job by the Dragons to keep it alive. Rodberg will catch up to that one as it was going to the far side corner. Rails will just push it on over. We get a whistle. And not sure what the whistle is for, but Rails will be awarded a point. And back to serve is Madison Walsh. Her serves into the net. We have had back and forth points. One team scores one, the other team will get the other. Megan Mako checks in for Emma Hermanson. Mako's serve is over and nearly down for an ace. The Rails aren't going to catch up to it, though, after the initial dig, and the Dragons have tied it at 15. Serve is over from Mako. Dug up by the Rails. The kill is kept alive by Bombard, Madison Bombard. Nice job. Rodberg, her kill is blocked, and that's going to be point for Pine City. Chloe Lind with the block on that one. Shoot, give credit to all three, Lind, Agard, and Rydberg. What a block there. 16-15, Dragons have the lead. Mako's serve is over, dug up by the Rails. And hit on over, kept alive. Dragons, nice job. And Mako will have to get it over, she does. Nice job there from the Dragons, just keeping that one alive. Rodberg with the kill there, and man, that's another one of those that I don't know if I'd want to get in front of if I was a defender either. That is just such a strong hit from Rodberg. Ella Walker back to serve now for the Rails. Serve is up and over. Dug up by Jusak. To Rydberg. And Agard will hit it back over. Rails keep it alive. The kill is dug up initially by Bombard, then to Jusak, and then it was on a line drive to Mako. And that'll be down for a point for the Rails, 17-16. Dragons trail. Student section getting loud. You can hear the feet stomp on the stands. Serves over from Walker. Bombard with the dig to Rydberg to Lind. It's off of a Proctor defender, and that's going to be a point for Pine City to tie things at 17. Who else but Chloe Lind with the kill? Back to serve is Agard. Her serve's up and over. Just dug up in time for the Rails, and then Rodberg will get the kill on this side. 18-17, Rails with the 1-point lead. Back to serve is Gabriella Juhala. Her serve's over. Dug up by Mako. To Rydberg. To Lind. She pushes it over. It's dug up by the Rails. They're near the benches, but they get it back over. Mako to Rydberg. To Lind. She's trying to get the kill. It's blocked. Nice job by Rydberg. Keep it alive. Getting it over is Jusak. And the Rails will have it alive. Rodberg will just push it over. And Jusak with the attempted kill. It goes into the net. I don't think the Rails got a hand on it, unfortunately, for Jusak, as she tried to dive back for it, but I don't think the Rails got a hand on it. I think that one, unfortunately, went right into the net. And Jahala back to serve. 19-17, the Rails lead here in the second set, leading 1-0. Serve is over. Dug up by Bombard. To Rydberg. To Lind. It is, oh my goodness, what a diving attempt by Jahala to keep up with it. And back the same way for the Dragons. They keep up with it on a diving attempt. Rodberg will hit it over. Oh, and that one gets into Lind just a little too much. And it's going to be point for the Rails. Good hustle plays from both teams here as Jahala. Serve is over. Oh, dug up by Agard, goes back a little ways, but the Dragons keep it alive. Rydberg does a nice job on the third hit to get it over. And the attempted kill long, and that's going to be point for Pine City. 20-18, the Rails lead. Whoa. No. Apparently, they're going to give the point here to the Rails. 21-17. Jusak. This time the point will stay with Pine City. Not sure why they called point for Proctor on the other one. No one touched it for the Dragons, and it was well long. So I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's 18-21. Dragons trail. Chloe Lind back to serve. Serve is up and over. Dug up by the Rails. Rodberg with the kill just to the side of Chloe Lind. And 22-18, the lead for the Rails in set number 2. Rodberg will be back to serve for the Rails. Her serve is up and over. It's long, and the Dragons will have it back, trailing by 3. Hermanson checks in for Mako as Rydberg is back to serve for the Dragons. Set number 2, Dragons trail 1-0. Rydberg's serve is over. A nice serve as well, but just dug up by the Rails. The attempted kill, caught Rydberg in no man's land there. And she just couldn't catch up to it in time. It's down for a point, make it 23-19, Proctor. And back to serve for them. Looks like that's Hope Carlson, dug up by the Dragons. It's Lind. Stauber will just hit it over. Rodberg. And the Rails will just tap it over. Good job there. Nice, smart move by the Rails, and this makes it set point. 24-19. Rails lead set number 2. Hope Carlson back to serve on this set point. It's dug up by Agard to Rydberg to Stauber. Blocked, and that will be it for set number 2. 25-19. The final in set number 2 as the Rails take set number 2 and lead 2-0. So the Dragons are going to have to win 3 straight here this evening if they look to get the win tonight. It's a tough one there for the Dragons. It was back and forth all set long in that one, and then towards the end, Rodberg just started to find a rhythm out there for Proctor, and she really kind of started to close out that set for Proctor. But the Dragons look like they found something that they can work with. Look like they might be able to come back in this third set and take a decisive victory, but we'll have to wait and see as they are in between sets. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. I'll get back just a little early between the break. And the Dragons will start the third set with the serve. Serve is over from Mako, a nice hard serve. And a little bit awkward off the rails, and it will be point for Pine City as they lead this third set 1-0. Again, they'll need to win 3 straight sets to get the victory tonight over Proctor, but that second set, I'm telling you, I've seen something from the Dragons that tells me that they could do it. The kill is blocked, goes off of the fingertips of Lynn, dug up by Mako, and then off the fingertips of the rails as Agar gets the attempted kill, and this one, just a little too far, and the point will go back to the rails. Agar's hit is just a little too far. Agar getting some pointers from head coach Tammy Nelson on how to keep that one in play as Madison Walsh is back to serve for Proctor. Oh, that one just nearly gets into the net. It stays above it, though, and nice dig by the Dragons. Excuse me. And Rodberg, that one's out. That one's out, and that is point for Pine City. Oh, no, and then she fell awkwardly. And she is down. You never want to see anyone down. And she's down, and it looks to be an ankle. Hopefully she's okay, and while taking an injury timeout, we'll take commercial break. Abby Agard back to serve. It's over. Dug up by the rails. And the kill is dug up by the Dragons. Rydberg there, and Lynn will get it back over for the Dragons. Oh, just long. Point for Proctor. Good news for Proctor is Rodberg was able to get up under her own power, walk back to the bench, so hopefully she's okay. And for her will be Regan Rodberg. And back to serve now is Ella Walker. Her serve is long, and that'll be point for Pine City. 3-2. Dragons lead here in the third set. Hoping not the final set. Stauber checks in for Madison Bombard as Lind is back to serve. Lind's serve is up and over. Dug up by the rails, and that's then tipped back over off the dig. Point for the Dragons. Not sure who got that point, as I myself was trying to catch back up with the action. Serve from Lind is over once again. That goes off the fingertips of the libero for Proctor. And it's down for a point, 5-2. Dragons with the lead. Lind, serve is up and over. Dug up by the rails. And the dig by Mako goes back over the net. Dug up again by the Dragons. Agard. Jusak will push it down nearly for the kill, and almost kept alive by Agar, but it goes off of her fist, just long. Point for Proctor. We'll get a substitution here for Proctor. Lauren Johnson will check into the game. And Juhala back to serve into the net. 6-3 Dragons. And Hermanson will check in for Mako. Back to serve is Rydberg. Serve is up and over. Oh, just long. The rails looked at that one for a while, specifically Madison Walsh. But it is just long. And she'll be back to serve. It's up. It's just over. It had some nasty spin on it, but the Dragons will dig it up. Emma Hermanson, and that dig is going to go out of bounds. Point for Pine City. 7-4, the Dragons lead. Back to serve is Carly Jusak. Her serve is over. Dug up by the rails. Hit on over by Walsh, and then the block at the net. Falls in between the two Dragons players, and it's point for Proctor. Back to serve will be Hope Carlson as the Dragons lead 7-5. You can hear the student section getting loud. Serve is over. Dug up by Jusak to Rydberg, and Rydberg will have to double hit it as it goes into the net. She hit it once and then tried to hit it again to keep it alive for her team, but unfortunate there. Double hit. So again, Carlson with the serve. It's over. Dug up by Lynn. Rydberg to Stauber. Blocked at the line by Proctor. And it's 7-7. Carlson serve over. Dug up by Lynn. To Rydberg. To Stauber. It's just long. Hit from Stauber. Just a little too long. Out of bounds, and the rails have the lead 8-7. Carlson. Serve is over. Dug up by Lynn, and it's over the net. On the dig by Lynn. Hit back over by the rails. Lynn again with the dig to Rydberg. Agard. That one's dug up by the rails. On the far side. Hit on over. Lind with the dig. Rydberg to Bombard. Or excuse me, that's Hermanson. Hermanson will get the block back over, and she'll tie it back up at 8 apiece. Stopper will check out. Madison Bombard will check in with this tie game. Her serve is over. Dug up by Carlson to Walsh. That one's dug up by Jusak. And two players come together at the net. That's Hermanson and Walsh, but it's going to fall on the Dragon side of the net. And no Dragon there to get it back over. And it's point for Proctor. Lillianne Hart checks in for the Rails with a 9-8 lead. Her serve is over. Dug up by Bombard to Rydberg to Lind. Oh, and that one's tapped back over by the Rails. Give them credit as that one is, oh man, just long. Good idea by the Dragons, but just long. And Hart with the serve, it's over. Dug up by Jusak to Rydberg to Hermanson. Hermanson keeps it alive after the block. Rails do a nice job, but a block again by Lyndon Hermanson on the far side. It'll be point for Pine City. They're going to call a double hit on the Rails. 10-9. And Rodberg is going to make it back into the game. That's good to see. Looks like she is a little ginger on the one ankle. So hopefully she's not pushing herself too far to further injure herself. But glad to see her back in the game. Hermanson with the ace. Emma Hermanson with the ace. Rails thought that one was going to go long. It didn't. Hermanson with the beautiful placement on that serve for the ace, and she ties things up at 10 apiece. This one's over, and that one is long. Something about watching a lot of balls that look like they're going to go over that can come back to hurt you as a team, and seen it there for the Rails on the one serve, but this one will go long, and to serve is Walsh. It's over. Dug up by Bombard to Rydberg to Lind. Oh, nearly with the kill, but dug up nicely by the Rails. Hit back on over. Bombard with the dig. Rydberg keeps it alive, and Lind this time with the kill. Giving assist to the net there a little bit as that hit the net and then kind of pushed it off the original mark. Abby Agard will be back to serve for the Dragons as they have tied it up 11 apiece. Her serve is over. Dug up by the Rails. Rodberg will just tap it back over, and she gets it back over after the block from Lind. Rydberg to Lind. Blocked. And the block there by Ella Walker will give the Rails the lead, 12-11. Walker will be the one who will serve now. Serve is up and over. Dug up by Jusak to Agard. And Jusak will hit it back over. That's in. That is in. Yes, it is. 12-12. Nice job there by the Dragons. In a beautiful spot. And now Chloe Lind back to serve with this 12-12 tie. Lind's serve is over. Dug up by the Rails. That's Walsh to Rodberg. No. They'll get it over anyways. Mako to Rydberg to Jusak with the kill. Give the Dragons the lead, 13-12. Lind back to serve. Her serve. It hits the net, but it's over. I don't know if you want to call that an ace, but I'll call it an ace. Chloe Lind with the serve once again, 14-12. That one's dug up by the Rails, and oh my goodness, somehow off the dig, it manages to go just over the net, and the Dragons were clearly caught off guard. I don't think anyone in this building thought that one was going to make it over the net, but it did. 14-13 as Jahala serves it. It's over. Dug up by Agard to Rydberg to Stauber. That one's dug up by the Rails. Nice job there. Rodberg will hit it back over. And it's going to go over the net. And Rodberg tries to get the absolute full swing on that one. I don't know if I'm at a bad angle, so I don't know if she missed or if she hit the net instead, but it's a point for Pine City. Mako will check out. Hermanson will check in. Back to serve is Rydberg. Her serve is over. Just out of bounds. Point for Proctor. Back to serve is Rodberg, the senior, one of two on this Proctor squad. Serve is going to be well short. Serve is short, and that'll give the Dragons 16-14 lead. I just can't help but think maybe that is due to because she can't. It doesn't seem like she can fully plant with the one leg, and I'm hoping that's not the problem, because you never want to see anyone injured. Jusak, this serve goes off of the libero, Kylie Jarvie, for point for Pine City, 17-14. Jusak will be back to serve once again. It's over. I'm not sure what the call is there. Must be something to do with the formation. I think they wanted the two girls to be switched, and they were not. So it's going to be a point for Pine City either way. They lead 18-14 here in the third set, down 2-0. Carly Jusak back to serve. And we get the whistle to continue. Jusak's serve is over. Dug up by Rodberg. And Walsh looking for the kill. That's dug up by Lind. Agard looking for the kill on the other side. Dug up by Rodberg. Jijahala. And that one's going to be down for a point by Carlson. 18-15. Back to serve will be Carlson. Serve is up and just over the net. Agard with the dig. Rydberg back to Agard. Agard looks to get it over. Oh, Rails keep it alive as two of their players came together to go get it. And then the hit long, out of bounds. Point, Pine City. Madison Bombard checks in for Sage Stauber. Dragons lead 19-15 in the third set. Bombard, her hit is over. Serve rather just over the net. And then Lynn with the absolute best opportunity kills the ball. 20-15, the Dragons lead. There wasn't a better opportunity maybe in the season for a kill like that for Chloe Lind. Oh my goodness. They need to check if that ball's got enough air in it after that hit. My goodness, what a hit from Lind. Dug up by the Dragons. Lind will just tap this one on over. Give it a little love tap after she absolutely destroyed it on the last hit. Hit back over by the Dragons off of one hit. And then blocked. Lind. Oh, it's kept alive by the rails. Oh, and then big miscommunication between Bombard and Jusak. It went right down the middle of both of them. And just some miscommunication there. We'll give a point back to Proctor. Student section for Pine City getting riled up. You can tell what's on the line. Leanne Hart back to serve. Hart, serve is over. And it's going to go out of bounds. 20-17, Dragons still with the lead here in the third set. 5 points away from winning their first set. And back on the trail to getting the victory here tonight. 20-17, Hart back to serve. It's up, and it's over. Bombard with the dig. Oh, and then I like the idea from Rydberg. She's a little upset with herself that she wasn't able to get it all the way over, but I like the idea there from Rydberg as the Rails were not expecting it. She tried to hit it over on the second hit. Hart serve over. Bombard kept alive by Lind, and Rydberg will get this one over. And Walsh, that's into the net, double hit, point Pine City. Block also there by the Dragons. Couldn't again see the number. Mako in for Hermanson. 4 points. 4 points is all they need. Mako back to serve. Mako serve is over. Dug up by the rails. Hit on over. Dug up, though, by Jusak. To Rydberg. Hermanson that's Agard. Lind to Rydberg. Rydberg. Her hit is dug up by the rails to Walsh. Blocked! Blocked, and that's a kick! That's a kick! I don't know. I don't know the complete rules. I didn't think you could kick it to keep it alive, but Lind will make them pay anyways. 22-18. I apologize, folks. I was extremely surprised that the Proctor rail defender, I mean, she straight up kicked it like it was a, I can't think of the kick that it's called in soccer. A scissor kick? It looked like she was setting up for a scissor kick in soccer, and she kept it alive. I got to give her credit. She kept her alive. But the Proctor rails have called a timeout. While they take a timeout, we'll take a break as well. Out of the timeout. Dragons with the lead, 20-18. 22-18. Mako back to serve. Serve is over. Dug up by the rails. Trying to catch up to it. Walsh. And that's blocked. Lind again with the kill off the block. 23-18. 2 points is all the Dragons need. Mako serve is over. Dug up by Rodberg. To Jahala. And blocked again! Lind and Agard provide the block, and it's set point for the Dragons, 24-18. Mako back to serve. Dragons looking to get their first set win of the evening. Mako serves over. Rodberg. Oh, Lind. That one is kept alive, but just out of the reach of the rest of her Dragon teammates. And the point will go back to Proctor. Walsh to serve. Student section getting loud. Serves over. Dug up by Jusak. To Rydberg. Agard looking to end it. Rails keep it alive. Rodberg tapped it, but not hard enough, and the Dragons stay alive as they win set 3, 25-19. So the Dragons get one set back, and they'll need to get 2 more to get the victory here tonight. But it started with 1. Like I mentioned, you can't go forward. You can't skip forward and win the 2 automatically. You have to go through them. They did just that there. And you could just tell from the second set that Pine City just continued to build on momentum. And the momentum came through here in this third set. Pine City really kind of dominated here in this third set. 25-19 doesn't really show that they dominated, but they certainly did dominate here in this third set. And they trailed 2 sets to 1, but getting 1 set back, that is 1 step towards getting the victory here tonight. Again, they still need to win 2 more sets, but they are on their way after winning the third set. We'll take a commercial break here. We're from our fine sponsors. When we come back, we'll be set for the 4th set here in Pine City. We're back in set for set number 4. After the Dragons won set number 3, 25-19 over the Proctor Rails. Rails will begin set 4 with the serve from Madison Walsh. Serves over, dug up by Bombard. Rydberg, Agard, and that's into the net. So the first point of set number 4 goes to the Rails. Walsh's serve is into the net. Rydberg tried to hit it over with one of her hands. But either way, that's going to be a point for Pine City. 1-1. Agard to serve. It's over. Dug up by the Rails. Hala. And then hit on over. Dug up, though, by the Dragons. Rydberg will keep it alive. Lind will hit it over. Rodberg keeps it alive. And hit on over. And then Lind with the kill. Lind has absolutely turned up the heat in these last 2 sets. And she'll get the kill there, 2-1. Dragons with the lead early here in set number 4. Agard back to serve. It's over and down for an ace. Abby Agard with the ace. That's not her first one tonight either. Serves over. Oh, and it's going to be just past the boundary line. Out of bounds. Walker will get the serve. 3-2 Dragons lead. Student section turning it up. Walker serves over, dug up by Agard to Ryberg to Lynn, and that one's dug up. Blocked by Lynn. And another point for the Dragons. Stauber will check in for Bombard. And now back to serve is Chloe Lind. Her team leading 4-2. Serve is over. That's an ace. Make it 5-2 Dragons in the 4th set. Chloe Lind getting set to serve. It's up, and it is into the net. (5-3). Dragons still with the lead. Gabriella Jahala back to serve. It's up and over. Dug up by Agard. To Rydberg. To Jusak. Jusak, that one's going to be dug up by Walsh for Proctor. Rodberg with the long kill attempt and into the net, still alive. Just past Rydberg's sheet. Got a forearm on it, but just a little awkwardly on it. Goes out of bounds, and Jahala back to serve once again for the Rails. 5-4. Dragons with the lead. Serve is just over. Dug up by Mako. To Rydberg. To Stauber. Dug up by the Rails. Rails have it, keep it alive, and Mako slaps the court as she's upset with herself on that one. Just misses the dig. And we're tied at 5 apiece. Hollis serve is over. Lind keeps it alive. Rydberg. Stauber. Miscommunication there by the Dragons, but they keep it alive. And Rodberg. And that one's blocked, and the Rails. The block going to go and work for the Dragons. And it'll be 6-5 Dragons. Block there. Up front by the Dragons. Maka will check out. Hermanson will check in. And then the accidental touch, I think, by their libero. Arisa Rydberg, her serve's over. Dug up by the Rails. And tapped on over. Jusak got to it, but not in time. She just couldn't get a hand under it to keep it alive, and Rodberg will be back to serve for the Rails. Tied at 6. Rodberg's serve is over. Dug up by Agard to Hermanson. Jusak will get it over. Kept alive. Walsh. Oh, I don't know. That one looked like it awkwardly came off of her hand, and she knows it. So that one falls. 7-6, Dragons lead. Back to serve is Carly Jusak. It's over. Oh, and that one's well towards the boundary, but the Rails do a good job of keeping it alive. Lynn with the dig to Rydberg, to Agard, and kept alive by Rodberg. This one's near the bench area, but Rodberg will hit it back over, and this one is kept alive by the Dragons. Oh, nice dig by Agard, but her teammate Stauber didn't want to hurt her in any way at going after that one, and it'll be point for Proctor. Hope Carlson back to serve at a 7-7 tie. Dug up by Lind. Rydberg keeps it alive. Jusak, that one's just over the net. Ooh, I don't know if Rodberg got her hand underneath it, but she must have because it got over the net, but it just goes out of bounds. And the Dragons will take back the lead, 8-7. Stauber will be back to serve. It is over. Dug up by the Rails. And this one's blocked at the line, kept alive by Stauber. Nice job, and Lynn will get it back over for the Dragons. And this one is kept alive by Rydberg. Hermanson, Jusak, nice job by the Dragons. And then tapped over the net. It's long, and point Pine City. 9-7 will be the Dragon lead. Set number 4. Sage Stauber. Serve is over. Dug up by Rodberg. Jahala. The attempt to kill is blocked by Lynn, then hit back over and long. And it will be point for Pine City, 10-7. They lead. And we're going to get a timeout by the Proctor Rails with the Dragons leading 10-7 here in set number 4. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. Ten to 7, the Dragons lead here in the 4th set over the Proctor Rails. Out of the timeout, Stauber back to serve again for the Dragons. Stauber gets the whistle, serves over. Just dug up by the Rails. And Jahala will get it over. Nice dig from Jusak to keep it alive for the Dragons. Just tapped on over. And a little just in front of Rydberg there. Point will be down for the Rails, and it's 10-8. Lexi Knudsen with the serve. Dug up by Bombard. The kill from Lind. Lind on the near side gets the kill. In a beautiful position to do so. Megan Mako will check in for Hermanson. It's 11-8 in the 4th set. Mako back to serve. Her serve is long. And that'll be point for Proctor. Eleven to 9. Proctor with the serve. It's over. Dug up by Bombard. Kept alive. And Lind will get the hit over. And the block attempt is going to work against the Dragons. That'll be down for point for Proctor. Make it 11 to 10. Back to serve is Walsh. It's over. Dug up by Jusak to Rydberg. And Lynn tries to lift it over. I think the Rails got a fingertip on it. And that'll tie things up at 11. 11-all here in the fourth set, and Walsh back to serve once again for the Rails. Student section for Pine City really turning things up. Dig from Jusak, the attempted kill from Lind, and she knew it. I think as soon as she hit it, that one was just a little long. (12-11). And that one's into the net. Point Pine City. Fan section's going back and forth at it. Abby Agard back to serve for the Dragons. Her serve is up and over. Dug up by the Rails. Hala, Rodberg looking for the kill. Nice dig. Oh, and then again the rafters working against the Dragons. Agard did a nice job getting the dig, but then the rafters, that ball hit the rafters, and it came just on an absolute bullet down back to the court. Walker with the serve for Proctor. It's over. Dug up by Agard to Rydberg. And Jusak will get it over. Proctor. They keep it alive. The attempted kill, I think that's a little long. It is. Got a pretty good vantage point of the boundary lines and where the ball lands. And that one, I just missed the white line. And I mean just. Chloe Lind back to serve for the Dragons, tied 13-all. Serve is up and over. I apologize. Rodberg, and that block goes off of the Dragons and out of bounds. Point for Proctor. Back to serve will be Walsh again. It's over. Long, and a smart move by the Dragons to just watch that one go. It's 14-all in Pine City. Mako checks out, and for her will be Hermanson. And Rydberg back to serve. It's up, it's over. It's dug up by the Rails. And the kill, oh, Lind. She hit that one. I don't know if that one wasn't maybe going out of bounds. That one would have been close. 15-14. Rails with the lead. That one would have been close to going out of bounds. Rodberg with the serve. It's just over the net. This one's reaching that boundary line and hits that head judge up there. It's her ladder, and that's always hard to get when you're trying to go after the ball. Rodberg back to serve again. Rails lead 16-14. Long, and the Dragons will get a point back. 15-16 they trail here in the fourth set. Jusak back to serve. That serve, oh, it is dug up somehow. I don't know how the Rails kept alive, but they did. Hermanson will dig it up for the Dragons. Miscommunication there by the Rails, but they keep it alive, and Walsh will just tap it over. Nice dig from Rydberg. Hermanson will keep it alive, and Rydberg with the tap over. Point for Pine City. 16-all in the fourth set. Jusak back to serve. And it's dug up by the Rails. Walsh tries to backhand it, and it is going to stay on Proctor's side of the net, and that'll be point Pine City. 17-16, the Dragons with the lead. Jusak back to serve. Serve is over. Oh, and just long. A good serve from Jusak. It was in a good position if she just put a little bit less on it. Ties things back up at 17. Carlson with the serve. That one's out, and point for Pine City, 18-17. This fourth set has been probably the most back and forth one of them all. First set was dominated by Proctor. Second set was back and forth. Proctor got the win. Then third set was back and forth, but Pine City kind of dominated towards the end. Blocked by Lind. And the attempted kill, Rodberg keeps it alive, and the Rails will get it back over. Kept alive nicely by Rydberg. Lind will push it on over. That's going to be in. Point for Pine City, 19-17 they lead. What? That was quite the volley. I think I was going for what a volley, but I just couldn't put English together. Stauber back to serve for the Dragons. It's over. It's dug up by the rails. Rodberg will look to get the kill. Blocked by Lind. 20-17. The Dragons with the lead here in the fourth set, and Proctor's going to call a timeout. While they take a timeout, we'll take a quick break as well and hear a word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. Stauber serve is dug up. Lind looking for the kill. A Proctor rail touched it, and it's point for Pine City, 21-17. Stauber back to serve. 4 points. I'll just leave it at that. 4 points. Stauber serve is over. Oh, dug up nicely by the rails. I mean, they just got to it. Walsh, her dig is blocked, or hit is blocked by Hermanson. Stauber will get the dig. Agard, that is blocked by the rails. I think we had a double hit there, and judges may not have realized it. That's okay. Pine City keeps it alive. Hermanson, oh, nearly gets the kill, and Rodberg will keep this one alive, and Rydberg accidentally kept it alive. It was going out of bounds, and she throws her head back because she knows it. She knows exactly the mistake she made. That's okay, though. Dragons still with the lead, 21-18. One mistake. It's not the end of the world here for the Dragons. The serve is dug up by Jusak to Rydberg. Lind will push it across. It's dug up by the rails. It's down for a point. Pine City will get a point back, 22-18. And back to serve is Hermanson. Emma Hermanson, the sophomore. 22-18. Her serve is over. Rodberg keeps it alive. It's kept alive, and a little bit of miscommunication there for the Dragons, 22-19. Mako comes in for Hermanson. She'll go to the back line. Walsh to serve for Proctor. Serve is over. Jusak with the dig. Rydberg will get it, and Lind will hit it over. Rails keep it alive. Jahala and Rodberg. This one is blocked by the Dragons. Kept alive here by Rydberg. And Lind looking for the kill. Just kept alive by the rails. And the touch over kept alive by the Dragons. And Agard will keep it alive, but it goes out of bounds. That was a tough one there for the Dragons. They kept alive, did a nice job, but that hit just too far from Agard, and it's 22-20. Dragons still with the lead. Walsh with the serve. It's over the net. It hits the net and rolls over. That's one of the ones, as the opposing team, you just hate because it's into the net. You're thinking you get a free point, and then it just rolls over. Point for Proctor, 22-21. And Agard will push it over. Rails with the dig. Rodberg, and that one, ooh, got up to Jusak. Hopefully she's okay. Looked like it may have gotten up towards her face. I don't think it did quite, but Rails have tied things up at 22 here in Pine City. We'll take commercial break for this Pine City timeout. You're listening to Volleyball on WCMP. Out of the quick timeout, Walsh back to serve for the Rails. Dug up by Bombard. To Rydberg. Agard looking for the kill. It's dug up by Proctor. This is an important point for both teams. Lind with the volley for Rydberg, and it's over. And the Rails take a 23-22 lead. Dragons need something to go their way here. I feel like if they can get a point here, they might just take it. And kept alive just by Bombard. Dragons do a nice job to get it back over the net. Rails keep it alive. And Bombard can't quite catch up to it. Match point here for the Rails. You think you needed for the Dragons to get a point there so as not to get it to match point, 24-22, fourth set. Kept up by Jusak to Bombard. Rydberg will get it over. Oh, nearly down, but Rails do a good job. Rydberg will keep it alive. Dragons do a nice job, though. And Mako looking for the kill. That one's going to be point for Pine City. Goes off a rail just a little too far. Reaches the stairs, actually. Pine City will get a point back. Now, in order to win, they have to get 26 because you have to win by at least 2. 24-23. Dragons. Back to serve is Abby Agard. Still match point for the Rails. It's reaching the net, and Lind will knock it down, and we're tied at 24. Proctor coach not too happy about something. It's 24 all. Agard's serve is over. Dug up by the Rails. Nice job by Bombard to keep this one alive. Jusak looking for the kill, kept alive by the Rails. Rydberg looking for the kill. It goes off of a Dragon, 25-24. This is not the end of the match, though. That was just 1 point. Now it's match point for Proctor. And back to serve is Walker. Fans getting loud for Pine City. Serve is over. And that's going to be it. Proctor will take set 4, 26-24. And this was definitely the best set of the game here tonight. But the Dragons will fall to the Proctor Rails 3-1. They lost set 1 by a score of 25-12. Then set 2 saw a much better match. There, it was back and forth until the very end as the Rails took it 25-19. Then the third set, it was back and forth once again, but the Pine City Dragons seemed to dominate towards the end of that set, and they would take that set 25-19. And then this fourth set, the best one of them all, back and forth throughout the entire set. Neither team really had an advantage here in this one as they traded scores back and forth. And then towards the end, Pine City pulled away just a little bit. Then the Rails, they got back into it and tied it up and then took a lead. And they had a 3-point lead at one point, but the Dragons came back and scored a couple of points and tied it up at 24. Then on a hit and a dig that went too far for the Dragons, saw it become a 25-24 game, and that would have been match point. And then the Rails on a nice hit from Rydberg. Just too strong for Pine City as the Rails grab the victory here in this one, 3-1 over Pine City. So that'll be it here tonight as the Dragons fall in this game, 3-1. It's a tough one, but a good one nonetheless for Pine City. Lots of good to see here from the Dragons in this one, and a lot to look forward to for their next matchup. The next matchup will be on Thursday in Hinckley against Hinckley-Finlayson. The Jaguars, always a good matchup when those two teams meet. Their first matchup of the season last year went all 5 sets after the Jaguars won the first 2 sets, and Pine City went on to win the last 3 to grab the victory, 3-2. So we're only hoping for one that will be just as good here on Thursday, and we'll be out at that one. We'll be covering that one. You can probably listen to that one on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, and of course, WCMPradio.com. I'll be out on that one as well. Of course, stay tuned to both WCMP and KBEKradio.com, as we'll have more local sports for you here this week. Starting with Thursday, of course, Hinckley taking on Pine City, and then East Central will host Rush City on Thursday, and Ogilvie will take on Mille Lacs. Then in football action on Friday, Pine City will host Aiken, Morrow will host Esco, and Bram, they will host Deer River. So we got a whole slate of games coming up for you this shortened week of not only sports, but also work and high school and everything else. It is the first week of school as well. But in this game, the Dragons fall 3-1 to the Proctor Rails, but gave it their all there in the last set as they fall in the fourth set, 26-24. I want to thank all of our sponsors for sponsoring this broadcast. Can't do it without them, because if they were not sponsoring, we would not be able to come out and cover any of these games. I want to give a shout out to all of you who tuned in. Thank you so much, whether you were listening on 106.5 FM AM 1350 or online at WCMPradio.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Of course, if you enjoyed this broadcast, make sure to go out and thank our fine sponsors in person. Just say, hey, thanks, I enjoyed the broadcast. Make sure that they know that you enjoyed it. That way they can continue to sponsor and we can continue to come out here to these games and bring you to them. Again, the final here in this one, Pine City falls to Proctor 3-1 for WCMP. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thanks for tuning in and have a great rest of your night.